So the personalized medicine approach is growing rapidly. Tests are being developed on a daily basis. Biomarkers to predict therapy outcome are on the tips of the lips of newscasters, of financial analysts, and pharmaceutical executives. To apply these novel tests to personalize may create a major impact on the revision of indications and patient eligibility to receive all sorts of already on the market and future to be developed drugs. But the goal in the end is to have a personalized medicine where each person has their customized genome, their customized marker set. When they get disease, we have ways to try to prevent it, to predict how serious it is, to get them on the best therapy, and to get them on the right novel therapies when the current therapy isn't working so that we can advance and improve their outcomes. Thanks very much, and thanks for staying for so long. Happy to take more questions. Yes?
The OHRP says that you cannot assign a patient to a therapy investigationally when using a test that was not PA certified. And that makes the whole process of testing these markers incredibly expensive. My view is a test is not worth doing. If it's not worth doing, it's not worth doing well. That we should only be required to have it PA certified if we've demonstrated that the test is of benefit. What's your take on it?
Well, I think that's a very good way to approach it. We have a lot of heavy marketing of unvalidated tests that go through CLIA certification, and that's used as a way to claim some clinical utility that hasn't been demonstrated, whereas it's only saying that the test can be done and you can get a reliably similar result every time you do it, not whether it makes any difference to patient care or patient outcome. And other tests which haven't gone through the process may have the ability, like ERCC1, to get a patient a much better chance to get a better cancer care outcome. So it's very controversial. The problem is the regulatory authority, mainly the FDA, does not have the manpower currently by the current budget in the in vitro diagnostics branch to really get into this to the level we need them to, where they do prevent spurious marketing of tests not validated for clinical utility, adding cost and controversy and confusing physicians as to how they should manage their patients, or confusing the patients on what they should ask their physicians to do for them. But we don't have the regulatory oversight we should have in the diagnostics industry from the FDA. And I think that's in part, it's so different from drugs. My oncology colleagues are sometimes fascinated when I explain to them that because a diagnostic test has no FDA approval, in no way means we can't do it, and in no way means we won't get paid for it. That it's not like therapy, where without an FDA approval, the drug can't be prescribed. It's not on the market. It's not available. It's breaking the law. One can lose their license if they try to use unapproved drugs for treatment in this country. We can use diagnostics any which way we want. And the question becomes, how should regulatory oversight deal with that? Obviously, it's a business, the diagnostics world, but the goal is to get patients the best possible outcome, both in preventing them from getting unnecessary treatment, for getting them from getting toxic treatment that won't help them, but also getting them diagnosed earlier with the right diagnosis so they'll get their treatment earlier and get a better outcome. So it's really a out of kilter, a industry that's in need of great evolution and revolution in terms of this, especially when all of this is occurring at the same time. The technology is expanding. We need more. We need some more standardization, and some of that can become within the diagnostics industry and it's policing itself and doing things right itself, and some of it may have to come, especially when drugs are involved, externally from the FDA or someone like them. Yes.
You mentioned about circulating tumor cells in breast cancer patients. What is the story for HER2 ECD? Does it have any diagnostic, prognostic, or predictive values?
It's been having a pretty rough time of late. Originally, it was thought that the serum HER2 test would be a great way to monitor the response to patients on anti-HER2 therapies, that it couldn't be used as a diagnostic for the HER2 status because patients with HER2 wild type HER2-negative breast cancer, if they have a large tumor burden, widely metastatic disease, will have a high serum level just because of the presence of single copy HER2 in such volume. So it couldn't classify it, but it could still, on trastuzumab and combinations, as it go up and down like PSA and metastatic prostate cancer, would be a good guide. But there have been some recent negative studies which have impacted on its clinical utility, showing it's not that good at predicting response to trastuzumab or lapatinib, and I think it's doing poorly in terms of number of tests being ordered. It is FDA approved. The company that first got it approved has been bought and sold so many times. I don't know who owns it now. I think it's, I hate to guess, is it Siemens? It's some,
Siemens owns it.
Yeah, Siemens owns it now. It went through, Bayer owned it for a while. And
Siemens bought Bayer.
oh yeah, that's right. That's why it's Siemens. So it's moved. Its provider is moved around. It's not very popular, and I haven't heard anything, let's say, promotional in terms of clinical studies or trials that would boost its use in the last at least 6 months. Any other questions, everyone? Oh, thanks again for staying so late. And if you're from local, I hope your basketball team wins, although a 7th game would be a lot of fun to watch, too. But if anybody's got an extra ticket, you can probably make a lot of money selling it to somebody else. Thanks again. Have a great evening.